Hello everyone and welcome back to LewisNews, your #1 YouTube channel for all types of Spider-Man news, and we've got some big MCU Spider-Man news. This came out yesterday and it dropped with a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be discussing over the next couple of days. So if you are not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all types of Spider-Man news, including everything from the games and movies and the shows. We cover absolutely everything on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed, because if you love Spider-Man, this is the channel for you. But in today's video, we're going to be going over the fact that apparently Tom Holland's Spider-Man might be the lead character in Avengers Kang Dynasty. But before we do discuss the nitty-gritty details of everything, I just want to say that this is a rumor, so make sure to take it with a pinch of salt, the biggest pinch of salt ever. But this rumor is coming from My Time to Shine Hello, and Ember has also had a few things to say about this. These are two reliable sources that we have covered previously on the channel before, and they have gotten other things right, including stuff from the earlier days of the MCU. Ember specifically got a bunch of stuff right regarding all the No Way Home leaks, if you guys remember that. But all in all, they have been right about stuff before in the past and are fairly reliable. But as I do say about all things, if you don't take it with a pinch of salt, you may end up being disappointed, because Hollywood ebbs and flows all the time. Things change, some things don't change. So even if this is to be true right now, this may not be true in the future. However, this rumor does suggest that Tom Holland is the lead in Kang Dynasty. Now that's really weird, because Spider-Man has never really been an Avengers character, and we know Spider-Man to be that street level hero. He's kind of the everyman, you know, he's the teenage superhero. He isn't even a big Avenger. He has no significance in earth-shattering events when it comes to universal threats like Galactus or Thanos. He's just a minor player in the larger universe. In the larger scale battle, Spider-Man is just in his own little corner fighting his own little battles. And yes, he does team up with the grander Avengers from time to time, but he's never the instigator. He's never the one to lead them to victory. And this rumor suggests that he will be the one. He will be the lead character in this film, which I think is really, really interesting. Now, I'm going to talk about where I think there is some truth in this, but I'm also going to talk about why I don't think this may end up being true. And here's why. The number one reason as to why I don't think this will be true is because Spider-Man is owned by Sony Pictures, and Sony Pictures own the film rights to that character, and Disney is the one producing Avengers Kang Dynasty, meaning that the lead character in their film will be owned by a different company. Now, I'm no business expert, but if I'm gonna guess, I'd say that Disney would not want a character that is owned by a different company being the face of their movie. Because if this blows Spider-Man out of proportion, obviously this is just going to boost Spider-Man's popularity even more. As much as it might draw people in to watch this movie, it's ultimately going to boost the revenue of Spider-Man's next film. So when we look at it from that angle, we then have to consider Disney are basically just advertising Spider-Man for free for Sony. So why not, since it's an Avengers film and the Avengers is by far one of the most popular superhero brands to date, especially in the film industry, why not whack one of your own characters that you own 100% of on the front of that movie, i.e. Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Black Panther, what have you, just any character that is popular, that's Marvel, that you own 100% of, just whack them on there. Because it's an Avengers movie. It's a guaranteed billion-dollar movie, whatever way you look at it. Even if it gets really bad critic scores, even if it has a low budget, even if it has a high budget, this movie is going to do well no matter what, because it's an Avengers film. So why would you not put one of your characters on the front of that film, if that makes any sense? And this is part of the reason why Spider-Man hasn't had bigger roles in the previous Avengers movies. You really think about it, if they make Spider-Man the main character, and by the way, maybe he should be, maybe the creatives behind this film want him to be, maybe there's a good reason for him to be the main character, I'm not disputing that, but from a business standpoint, it doesn't really make any sense. But with that out of the way, why possibly could this happen? Why could this actually be true? Now, there are two reasons why I think this could be true, and the first reason has to do with the Sony and Disney deal. Now, originally the Sony and Disney deal over Spider-Man and distributing the Spider-Man movies akin to the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be that Sony would 100% fund the Spider-Man films in the MCU. However, Marvel and Disney would allow them to use their resources, i.e. Kevin Feige, use their cast, use their crew, use their actors, use everything to make the movie. And essentially, Sony would benefit tenfold by this, because they could make a Spider-Man movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they would 100% benefit from. The only thing that Disney took was a 5% of the profit, and that was for just basically using their universe for their movie. So it was a win-win. Sony could make Spider-Man movies in the MCU, which was really popular at the time, and obviously Marvel got Spider-Man in the MCU, because then Marvel could use Spider-Man in their Avengers movies. And then after Spider-Man Far From Home, the new deal said that for Spider-Man 3, which ended up being Spider-Man No Way Home, Disney would fund 25% of that film and then would take 25% of the profits. But the new deal for the new trilogy is believed that Disney is in fact funding 50% of the movie and is actually taking 50% of the profits as well. Now you see where this is going. Disney are starting to have more of a stake in the MCU films for Spider-Man. They're starting to have more of a financial involvement within the MCU Spider-Man franchise, which means that maybe Disney want to use Spider-Man as their main character for Kang Dynasty, because that means they will ultimately profit in the future from the next MCU Spider-Man movie that comes afterwards. If they are funding 50% of the film, they will also make 50% of the profits, even though they won't make as much money from the next Spider-Man movie as they will do from, say, Doctor Strange 3 or Black Panther 3, etc. They are still going to make significantly more money than they did before from this film. So with Disney now having more of a financial stake in the MCU films for Spider-Man, it possibly means we could get him as the main character, because from a company standpoint, that does sort of make sense. But my point before still stands, that why would you just not have one of your own characters that you have 100% ownership over be the main character? However, my second reason to why possibly this could be true is that we know that the symbiote is now in the MCU, and we know that when it comes to Secret Wars in the comics, Spider-Man gets the symbiote there on Battleworld. The same thing could happen in Kang Dynasty if they are to adapt it in a sort of weird way. If Battleworld somehow shows up in Kang Dynasty, and since Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is kind of like a two-parter, then possibly it will. Obviously, we know those films are going to be connected in some sort of way, and if Battleworld does show up, then we potentially could see Spider-Man get the symbiote, and that could be one of the focal points of the story. Who knows? But we'll just have to see. I personally don't think this is true, only because, like I said before, I just don't see Disney making a movie with the main character being someone that they don't own and don't have 100% ownership over, which I think would be a poor business move. But since they have more financial involvement within the MCU movies now, like I said, I think the new deal is believed to be around 50-50. I could be wrong on that, but it isn't completely confirmed what the new deal is. Then it kind of does make sense. But with that being said, that is pretty much it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like button, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment down below, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think it's true? Do you not think it's true? I want to know all of your thoughts. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace.